Hey guys, welcome to Amen Clothing YouTube channel where we use pattern to learn how to sew and draft different kinds of design. So today is about this corset with this multiple keyhole neckline, and this is the one I used my paper to draft and I had to put it all together. If that's what you want to see, subscribe to this channel and watch this video to the very end. So firstly, you'll be needing your basic bodice front. I'm gonna have to impute my side bust dart, my waist dart, and also my bust circumference. If you need to see a video of where I drafted bust circumference, then leave a comment in the comment section and I will direct you to where you will get the video. Okay, so this is what you'll be starting off with, your basic bodice front with all these darts in place. So I'm going ahead now to contour my underbust. Please, if you're using your tape to contour the underbust, you'll be marking 1/2 inch on both sides. Like I said, the tutorial also for this bust circumference has the contour guideline patterns. So if you do not know what a contour guideline pattern is, you also want to drop a comment in the comment section and I will link you to the video that will explain more on contour guidelines. So I'm going ahead to join the contour line of my underbust from my bust point down to the waist like so. As you can see, this is what it looks like. And I'm going ahead to use my ruler to make it more visible. So many of you complained about not seeing clearly my drafting. So I'm trying to make sure that it's visible. I don't really use a marker because a marker has a bold tip. I need something that has a fine tip. So I'm going ahead now to draw some lines showing that we are going to be taking this off, or a line that kind of separates the contour line from the actual dart. Okay, I hope that is understandable. That is why I'm doing this, so it's well understood and more explanatory. So having done that, this is what you're going to be having. Then the next contour line that we're going to be imputing is our neckline contour line. Why are you imputing the neckline contour line? Is so that those gaps, as you can see, between the keyholes do not gap, okay? So that those lines between the keyhole area do not gap. That is why we are imputing the neckline contour guideline, okay? Like so. So I'm going ahead to impute my neckline contour guideline, and this is what it looks like, okay? The rest of the contour guideline, we're not going to be needing them for this very particular tutorial. So having done that, this is what we're having, and we'll head over to the next step, okay? And then I'm going ahead to determine the width of my actual, how do I put it now? That very part where this neckline crosses. Okay, let's say the width of my actual shoulder is going to be for me to attach the sleeve, how wide I want it to be. So I've gone ahead to mark that very point, and from that point, I will connect it to my very first neckline of the keyhole, and see it's very wide. So this is also same as a canoe neckline. You don't want to go very deep. Go very deep, you're not going to get what you want. So you're going to be using like your basic neckline, okay, to connect it to that very part to form sort of a canoe neckline. I'm joining the second one, complement it like so. I'm joining the second, complement it like so. Then on the second thought, I found out that this very particular second one shouldn't have started at the tip of the shoulder. I'm going to be correcting it right now so you guys will see exactly what it's supposed to be, okay? So that very center part that has the very tiny joining, the tiny fabric that joins the first and the second layer of the keyhole, you're going to be measuring your desired. It's optional, whatever you desire to use. So this is what I've desired to use, and I've marked it out like so. Okay, then I'm going ahead now to determine the shape of the second keyhole neckline. Okay, so like I said, going back to that very second neckline that complemented the first one, and from that very part where my shoulder line is, I'm going to be drawing a line. That line is going to be forming that very particular part where you're going to be attaching your sleeve. The very particular part that is close to the armhole where you're attaching your sleeve. Just make sure that the very first one that started from your neckline is parallel to this very part. You can also give it a curve if you like. I made mine straight. You can give yours a kind of a C curve if you like, okay? Just like the one on the screen. You can give yours a C curve. If that is what you want, you can also leave it as straight. So that is what I've done now. And that part I'm marking asterisk to show you that we are not taking it off, is going to remain. So I haven't done that. I've gone ahead to draw in. Sorry, I didn't know that I was off the camera. So I drew in my second keyhole neckline like so. As you can see, I went ahead to extend that line to make sure it's in a straight line. I went ahead to extend that line all the way to my armhole area, to my armhole line. As you can see, the line that went from the very tip part of my shoulder to my armhole area. So I'm going ahead now to draw in the shape of the corset, like the way I want it to be, the sweetheart area of the corset. I'm going ahead to draw it in like so. Please watch very closely. I'm drawing it in and I'm stopping at my very armhole line. Okay, I'm drawing it in and I'm stopping at my very armhole line. As you can see, I hope that is very clear. So this is what I'm doing now. And then I went ahead to use my scissors to cut out the whole design. Okay, I'm using my scissors to cut out everything that we have drawn. And please do not forget, wherever your dart goes in, be sure you cut open and tape it. Wherever your dart goes in, be sure you eliminate the dart so that it doesn't gap, so it fits very closely. That is the reason for contouring of the pattern. So it fits very closely so that it doesn't gap, okay? So I'm going to have to use my scissors to remove, to cut the pattern just exactly the way it should be. Okay, don't worry, as we keep proceeding in this tutorial, you'll be able to understand everything I'm saying. So these are where the darts fell into, and I'm going to be opening them. I took away the darts and I'll be taping it back, okay, to give me that very nice fitted look. The reason why actually we contoured, okay. So I've taped this down like so, and I'm labeling up and down so I do not mix it up. I'm also going to have to label also my center front so I do not mix it up, because we are going to be joining this whole thing together as as a whole to form a dress or to form the upper bodies, okay? So that is why I'm labeling so I do not get confused, okay? You should also label properly even on your fabric so you do not get confused. So I'm going to have to label center front, up, down, every notch that I'm supposed to make, okay? So that I do not get confused. I'm also taping down every necessary thing that I'm supposed to tape down. Actually, this hair wasn't necessary because I'm taking it off entirely. So this is what it looks like right now. And we're going to be working on our darts for the cup area. So I'm opening up my side post dart like so. I'm also going ahead to open the contour guideline that came from the neckline area. So I'll close it up now and open it as my side was that. If you've been following my tutorials, you should get used to me closing and opening that, okay? So I'm going ahead to open up my waistline and underbust darts, okay? Sorry for the delay. Please, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, do well to subscribe. Turn on your bell notifications so you get notified when I post new videos, okay? So I'm gonna have to close my side post dart, and this is what it looks like now. And then I'll go ahead to cut this very area of my underbust, and I'll be taping them down to form a whole piece, okay? Except if you want to put some artistic designs or you want to kind of include some things, you can sew yours separately. But if you do not want your work to be bulky, you have to tape this together, and when you're cutting it on your fabric, it has to be just a single piece and no one will know that there was a dart there because you've taped it together, okay? And it still give you your fit, the fit you want. So for the corset area, I'm going ahead now to cut it out like so. You have to be very careful while doing this. So you followed your exact lines, your exact artistic lines, and so you do not make mistakes, okay? I actually felt like the shaping of my upper area of my corset, like the round shaping, wasn't really intact. I don't know why. So, but that's okay. So this is what this looks like. So this looks like okay. And actually we are taking a very center part. I'll show you. We're taking up this very center area. So I'm still working on the corset now. When you close it, you're going to be having something like this. So I prefer to cut this open, close this dart here, and sew straight. I hope you understand. You're going to be seeing what I'm talking about right now. So I've taped this down, okay, and this very part I'm cutting out now happens to be the plain fabric, not the lace. I don't know whether this fabric is a lace. The very other part, yes, I'm taping it down so I get the full part. Is that plain part that separates the corset, like the two busts. Is that very part that separates it. So that is what I'm removing right now. And now go ahead to be sewing so, okay. So I'm labeling also so I do not get confused. I'm labeling also so I do not get confused, okay. So I'm taking this very part I labeled out. I'm taking it out. It's not part of this pattern. It isn't part of the design. So I'm taking this very part out. So I've discarded it. Won't be needing it for this design. So I'm going to be putting the patterns together. So basically see what we are going to be having, okay? I'm going to be putting the patterns together so you basically see what we are going to be having. So we're going to be having something like this. Okay, we're going to be having something like this. And I'll go ahead to cut this whole thing into a way that I'll be able to join them together. So this we are having one, sorry, because center front we're having one whole piece. And this also one whole piece. Center front one piece. This also one whole piece. Center front also. And we'll be having two piece of this, two piece of this. And this one whole piece center front. We'll be having two piece of this. And last but not the least, we're going to be having one whole piece center front. So I'm going ahead to do that now. I've got them together and I've joined them. I've started joining them. So you guys come along with me while we join it, okay? Actually, the cup area was difficult for me to join. In fact, I almost ruined the paper because you know this is not a fabric and this is also not a pattern paper. This is actually a paper from, it's just an ordinary paper. So it's not pliable. It's hard to to kind of twist. It's not playable, it's hard to twist. So I almost ruined the paper, but it also came out nice. So I had to fix it this way so you guys will understand clearly what I've done, and you see that it's actually easy. So this is what we're having. If you found this tutorial helpful, please do well to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it to every sewing platform where it will be needed. And if you have any question, please leave it in the comment section and I will not hesitate to answer you. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you all for the support and the love. And do not forget, I am not close to my working environment now. I'm very far away from there. So that's why I'm just putting out little things so you guys will be engaged in my tutorials, and also I'll be able to help you out with tutorials and also teach you, though I'm far from my work environment or from my work studio. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.